Are you looking to take your personal finances to the next level? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not, with your host, Joseph Sangle.
Well, welcome to the Monday Money Tip Podcast. My name is Joe Sangle, and I am fired up as part of the member of the I Was Broke, Now I'm Not team to help you win with your money every Monday, helping you take in a practical step, a practical bite off of your journey to be able to achieve it this week. And today, we are on episode number
140.
And we're going to talk about what?
Today we're talking about 5 swings of an axe. So it's about the power of persistence. So our question is, I've heard Joe say on a podcast that he and his wife have prepared a budget every single month for over 200 months. How on earth has he been able to do that? I can't seem to stick to my financial decisions for more than a month or two.
It's a great question. That was the voice of Megan Hibbard, my co-host for 140 episodes.
Yep.
Is that unbelievable? Minus a couple when Logan was making his grand entrance into the world.
Yep.
And so that was awesome. So yeah, how have I been able to prepare a budget every single month for over 200 months? I don't know. The end of the podcast. Is that awesome? No. I have some thoughts on how that happened, but I look back and I say, I can't believe that's happened. I think anybody who's been able to stick with something for really long when they used to be really bad at it, are kind of dumbfounded that they've been able to finally do it. So I'm going to be able to share that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll talk about that. But first, we know what time it is. Let's go.
Now it's time to get caught up with our current money events.
The Monday Money Tip Podcast is sponsored by the Fully Funded Life Membership Program. The Fully Funded Life Membership Program provides all you need to begin winning with money and live a fully funded life. Fully Funded Life includes 4 key components: courses, challenges, coaching, and community. Courses provide financial education. Challenges help you make massive progress in a specific money skill. Coaching is provided by the Fully Funded Life Certified Coaches through open office hours held multiple times each month. All of the courses, challenges, and coaching results in an outstanding community that help equip, motivate, and encourage you to take your next financial steps toward your fully funded life. Fully Funded Life. Courses, challenges, coaching, community. All that's missing is you. Learn more and receive a special offer for Monday Money Tip listeners today at fullyfunded.life/MMT. That's www.fullyfunded.life/MMT. All right, so for today's current money event section, we're talking about cryptocurrency. Is that exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's excellent. Do you own some crypto?
No. Do you?
Not that I'm aware of. Man, we can name some. We got Bitcoin. Is it Doge or Doge? I mean, that tells you how good I'm at this. Ethereum and Ripple and 70 others.
Yeah.
Even Kodak came out with one. Facebook was trying to come up with one. And my thing is, what just happened? You know, Bitcoin, as we're recording this podcast, has cleared $50,000. You could have bought it for like $1 a piece.
I have a friend that works for Bitcoin.
It's unbelievable.
California.
Works for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You can work for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They work for payment in Bitcoin, or they work for a company
or something.
Somebody that works in cryptocurrency, like trading of it.
You're asking too many questions.
That's interesting.
I don't know.
So I'll just ask.
He's cryptic about it.
He's cryptic. There we go. Excellent. I like it. So here's the thing. I've been asked this question a lot. Joe, do you own Bitcoin or crypto? Are you investing in this? And I just wanted to share just from the desk of Monday Money Tip. The answer is no. The reason that I'm saying no, even as it has rifled up, way up really high, is because, number one, I do not understand it.
Yeah. Same.
Number two, it is competing with regular currencies. I believe, I stated this for 2 years now, could have made a lot of money, I guess, if I'd invested in it for a while. But I still believe that governments are going to get together and regulate it. When it becomes regulated, it will end up becoming very challenged in its current pricing. But I could be totally wrong. And that's the beauty of this stuff, is you get to go replay it and see how wrong I was. But for me, the reason I'm not investing in this is because I do not invest in things I do not understand. I do not understand why it has value. It feels a lot like the tulip rush. Do you remember the tulip bubble? They teach this about bubbles in investing.
I mean, I know what a bubble is, but
in like the 1500s, I think it was, in Holland, they had the tulip bubble, and people were paying ridiculous levels of money for tulip bulbs. At the end of the day, they were tulip bulbs. And then everybody realized we're spending a bunch of money on tulip bulbs, and it collapsed. And we've seen these big things happen in time to time, the so-called bubbles.
Yeah.
And we've seen it happen with Bitcoin. It ran up to 19,000, then crashed back down to 5,000, and now it's to 50,000 inexplicably. So here's what I would just say. I put these type of investments in what I call the greedy money investing bucket. We're all given to put a little bit of money into some greedy money investing buckets. I know, Megan, you never have, but perhaps just maybe.
Too sensible.
Some people have bought lottery tickets before, occasionally.
Yep.
And that is a greedy money investment, isn't it?
Yep.
There's a high likelihood, almost 100% likelihood that you could lose it. But man, if you win, it's going to be big.
Somebody's got to win.
And so I would put it in that category of investment. And so I would just say, if you're going to put any money in this crypto, it is like gambling. And I encourage you to make sure that this is the money that you have allocated for your greedy money investments, that if it vaporized tomorrow, you're not going to be crying in the aisles over it and having to beg your meals. Don't put any money that's dependent on retirement, on major purchases in the next several years, just food and your children's college in that. Okay? And some of you may have done that, and you've been able to do that. Congratulations. That is awesome. You're a risk taker, and you got away with that risk. But I just encourage you for this current money event, pay attention to this. We saw it happen with GameStop stock over the last couple months, where it surged to 480 plus bucks. Reality hit.
Went down.
When I last looked at it, it's $50. It's going back to $5 to $10, maybe $15, because it was a bubble.
Yeah.
It was a short squeeze. And as a result, it ran it up, and then a bunch of people took their money, and a bunch of people lost a whole bunch of money. And so they said they estimate that over $7 billion alone was lost on that stock, that single stock. So I really encourage you, be cautious with this. Allocate greedy money investing towards it. And if it goes to zero, don't come crying to me. If it goes way big and you retire age 31, hey, comment on YouTube about how awesome you are and how great of a decision you made. And that's awesome. We'll applaud you for it. Congratulations. You hit the lottery. Get fired up.
Send some our way for the tip.
Yeah, no, we didn't send a tip. We said don't do that. They're not going to send any our way.
We said
but
greedy money.
Megan said if you wanted to send some her way, she would gladly accept it. That'd be awesome. So that's it for today's current money events.
Yep. Okay, our success story this week comes from Jack and Joanne, and they just...
Not Jack and Diane?
It says Jack and Joanne.
Jack and Joanne, okay.
I'm sure that's not the first time they've gotten that. They just joined Fully Funded Life, and they wrote in to share what they're excited about experiencing through this community. Jack says, I have been using your teachings the past 2 years in my own family and church. Now I'm excited about knowing what you have to offer online so I can continue teaching others. God blessed us to be on top rung through using God's word the past 30 years. I love coaching others. Praise God for Joseph Sangle. Thank you. God bless.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
So Jack and Joanne wrote this, and they joined Fully Funded Life, and they joined it not really to gain a whole lot from it for their own journey, but so that they could use the teachings to go help others. That
awesome.
Fires me up.
Yep.
And I am so thrilled that Jack and Joanne took time to write this in. And really, this is our desire for Fully Funded, that we have people on all levels of the ladder, every rung 0, below ground level, digging their way up to rung 2, 3, all the way up to rung 9, living that fully funded life. Because this is what this community is about, is that people can really mentor each other, saying, hey, this helped me when I was working through rung 3. This helped me when I was working through rung 4. And we can't have that if we don't have people who are steps ahead of you. And that's the beauty of this, is it's bringing together people from all different walks of life, all types of diverse backgrounds, how they've earned money, their work experiences, their life experiences, all around their cultural experiences. People around the world are part of this. And that's what we want this to be. It's a beautiful family of people that, while we may be all different, there's two things in common. We're committed to maximize every dollar we have, and we all want to live fully funded lives. Yep. And we're committed to helping each other get there. So thank you, Jack and Joanne, for being a part of it. Fired up.
Awesome. Okay, so for our question for today, it is, I heard Joe say on a podcast that he and his wife have prepared a budget every single month for over 200 months. How on earth has he been able to do that? I can't seem to stick to my financial decisions for more than a month or two.
Well, as I said, frankly, I'm just going to go to the, I want to thank my God, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who helped me do that, because it is indeed a gift from God that we've been able to be diligent. I truly believe that. But I believe we can all enjoy this gift. Everybody listen to this podcast, because one of the fruits of the Spirit outlined in Galatians 5:22 and 23 is self-control. And that one hyphenated word describes exactly what I'm talking about. Self-control. That's how I've been able to stick with preparing a budget for more than 200 consecutive months. Ultimately, it requires self-control to accomplish anything great, to become great at something. You have to stick with it. I love basketball. I grew up in Indiana. We played the game 24/7. It felt like, we would go to church on Sunday morning. When I finally got a car, I got some wheels. It was loosely termed a car. Me and my twin would go get lunch with our buddies and go to the parks and play. If it was wintertime, we went inside to gyms and played basketball. And then we went back to choir practice where we sang solos. Isn't that awesome? Oh. Solo, nobody would hear us. It's awesome. But listen, here, it takes self-control. So I love basketball, and the NBA, man, there's this guy who came from your state.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. From the community and the college known as Davidson. Yeah. And his name is Steph Curry. Mm-hmm. He's Del Curry's son. Mm-hmm. And he recently, in practice, watch this, he hit a bunch of three-pointers in a row in practice. Now, the first two shots that he made, they didn't get on camera. But the rest of them are all on camera, undoctored. And I had here to ask you how many he hit, but I think you did some snooping.
I Googled
So tell everybody how many three-pointers he hit in a row. Was it 3?
Nope.
5?
Nope.
I mean, that would be a big deal if you hit 10 three-pointers in a row.
Yeah.
10 of them. I'm talking the way out line. Mm-hmm. How many did you hit in a row?
105.
105. That seems unbelievable.
Yeah.
But guess what? He hit 105 three-pointers in a row. That's crazy. Now watch this. How did he become so great at shooting? Well, of course, he has prodigious talent. I mean, we can all say, he's unbelievable. But he has also practiced that shot a lot. He's been disciplined. He's had self-control. And as a result, he became great at it. So I've been able to budget for 213, that's the real number, consecutive months right now because of that same principle. Yeah. It's a principle that I want to teach for everyone here to help you. If you have a money skill or you have a skill in general that you want to become great at, playing the piano, playing the guitar, becoming great at budgeting, become a great investor, to become a business owner, to start a business, to buy a business, to buy and sell businesses, to go into rental real estate, whatever it might be for you, to become a great parent, a great spouse, to become a great kid. I don't know, for your aging parents. I don't know what it might be, to become a government official, a politician, whatever it might be, you have to become great at it. And the way you get there is through this principle. What are your thoughts?
Yes. So I think one of the things that I really love about budgeting is it gives you freedom. So we talk about that a lot. It gives you freedom to be able to do things. So like example for me, I love buying things for Logan. He's my kid. Yeah.
You're a mom who likes to buy stuff for your child?
Yes. I never spend money on me, but I'll spend money on him all day long. 100%. Yes. So a budget allows me to do this. So I know I have this amount of money.
Is it because you like him or because you love him?
I love him.
Yes, you do.
Yes. So I know that I can spend whatever the set amount of money is each month, I can spend on him. And I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to go in and say, like, I don't know if I should spend this or not. I don't know. But we have a budget there. That's what it's there for. An important thing is, going off of what you're saying, is having to stay in the bounds. So in the bounds of what I've set for each category. So for the Logan category, I have to stay in that. So it requires discipline. It requires practice. Mm-hmm. It requires, if I've already spent the money, I'm not going to go and spend it again. And so it's kind of a skill that you learn, and you're disciplined in it, but you also practice it each month of knowing, okay, I'm practicing. I can spend this. I can buy this for him. We went to Target the other day. He wanted this Paw Patrol toy, so we got that for him.
Marshall?
Yes, he loves Marshall.
Was it Marshall?
Well, his favorite is Rubble, but the last one we bought was Rubble, so we went to Marshall this time. But But I didn't have to like worry about it. I knew like, okay, we're good. Like you can get this. But if I had already spent that money on him, I would have had to say like, hey, bud, like maybe next time, because it's requiring discipline on my part. And then also like, I know he's only 2, but I'm trying to teach him money lessons too about money just doesn't grow on trees.
Well, this is awesome. So I'm going to go off script for a minute because Victor Hugo wrote a book called Les Miserables, something like that in French. I'm not French, so I'm sorry if I misenunciated that word. But he wrote it in the 1850s, and it's about the slums around Paris and everything. But he wrote a line in there that is very compelling, and he says that you can give without loving, but you can never love without giving. And I think that what you just describes a bunch of our audience. Moms who love to give things to their children. Why? Because you can never love without giving. And so moms feel compelled to give to the one they love. And if you don't have a budget, you're going to give anyway.
Yeah.
Because you can't tell yourself no, because you cannot love without giving. And the problem is you will spend yourself in the poorhouse doing that. So you have given yourself the freedom to enact on that love you can never love without giving, without it destroying your financial future to where you have regret related to that.
Right.
So it's a great thing.
Yeah.
So I love that you shared that. And so this principle that I call about being able to stick with good decisions and being able to do stuff for the long haul is something I call the 5 swings of an axe principle. 5 swings of an axe. And so I just kind of want to share the principle really quick. So imagine, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see I kind of have a flannel shirt on. I'm kind of got the lumberjack going on a little bit. And imagine that you had a tree out in your front yard and it dropped these annoying acorns on your tree, out of the tree every year. And it's kind of like you just don't like this oak tree. It keeps dropping acorns all over everything. It dents your car, stains your car. In the spring, it has those little things, you know what I'm talking about? The flowers, they're not very pretty on an oak tree, but they fall everywhere and drop pollen like crazy. And you're tired of it. You need the tree to leave. And let's say you didn't have a chainsaw and chainsaws weren't invented. And so you went out and you got that axe and you said, this tree's going to go today. And it's a large tree. I mean, it's 18 inches in diameter. And you start hacking and swinging. Now, what's going to happen if you did that?
You're going to
get
tired.
If you did that, Megan.
I'm going to get tired.
What's going to fall first, the tree or you?
Probably me.
Probably you. You're going to have blistered hands.
Yep.
The tree's going to be scarred. You're going to feel miserable. And you're going to give up. And the tree's still going to be standing. And it might be scarred, but it's going to be producing some acorns still. And it's going to remind you, and it's going to be such a miserable experience that every single time you walk past that tree, you're going to be reminded of this terrible experience. And you're going to have no energy to pick up the axe again because it was so horrible. You still have blisters on your hands for the next several days, right? It's awful. And so the approach of the 5 swings of an axe is different. It's saying instead of furiously going at the tree and trying to achieve such a monumental task all at once, what if every morning you walked out when you're nice and chipper and fresh, put on gloves, and you took that axe and swung it 5 times, just 5 times, 5 solid licks, and then set it down. Even though you feel good, you don't give it 5 extra. You just 5 swings. Then you got in the car, went on about your day. So here's the thing. If you did that every single day, the question is no longer if the tree's going to fall. The question is what?
When.
When is the tree going to fall? No. In fact, eventually you're going to be like, I'm not going to park my car near this because it's going down.
A gust
comes. Right? Yeah. So that's the principle of the 5 swings of an axe. It's basically saying I need to mete out this activity over time so that it is not a miserable experience. It is not a disastrous experience. I don't feel horrible about it. I don't have proverbial blisters on my hands. And I don't look at this scarred up tree all the time saying I failed at that. And you're reminded of your failure every single day. Yeah. And so in this principle of swinging the axe, really, I wanted to share a few things related to that. Share with them the first principle of the swinging the axe principle.
Yes. So the first one is focus on today's task.
That's right. So that's so important. Not on the overall task, cutting down the tree, but I need to swing this axe 5 times. Because you know that good behavior, that stuff going in that direction is going to have the right outcome eventually. Right?
Yep.
So that's hugely important. And that's something I want you to think about as you're whatever the task is, whether it's budgeting for the person who wrote this question, or whether it is, hey, how do you commit to putting money in savings every time you get paid? Or how do you make sure that my spouse sits down with me and talks about our dreams on a regular basis? How do I make sure that I can intentionally teach my kids about this? Whatever it might be, and it applies to non-money stuff too. How do I become great at shooting free throws? Hey, shoot 5 free throws every morning.
Yeah. You'll
eventually get better.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you have thoughts about my first part of the principle, focusing on today's task?
Yes. So when I read this point, I do this workout program every day. And one of the things that this girl says every day, and I hate
Is this Peloton?
No, it's not, but it's a similar concept. But one of the things that she says, and I hate it when she says it, but she says you can do anything for 60 seconds because that's each part is 60 seconds and you get a break. 60 seconds, you get a break. And she says, don't focus on what you did in the past. Don't focus on what's coming up. Just focus on this. And, you can do it for 60 seconds. And so I feel like it kind of relates. So when you're looking at all of these things, it seems super overwhelming. It can easily get you discouraged. You can think about the failures you've had in the past, or you can think about like, oh, I'll never have that much money saved, or I'll never be able to invest that much, or I'll never be debt free, or all these things. You can think about that. But if you're just focusing on the task for today, so maybe the task for today is creating your budget. If you're just focusing on that one thing, how much more doable does it seem?
Absolutely.
Instead of focusing on, I'm doing this budget so I can do this. Yeah.
The budget for the rest of March right now. Like, think about that. That's your task.
Yeah.
I don't need to prepare the budget for the 200 months in a row.
Right.
I need to focus on doing the rest of the budget for this month. That's great.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge principle. Focus on today's task. Okay. The second principle is what?
Yes. So number 2 is assign a set time for the task.
Yes. So if the task happens at the exact same time and place, it becomes a hobby, becomes a habit, and it'll be much more likely that you will be consistent with it. So I don't know, Shirley, you've had this. Have you ever attended a conference or something and sat down in a chair? And then after each break, did you not return to the exact same seat? When you go to church, do you kind of sit in the same seat? After each day, did you not return to the exact same seat? We creatures are humans who have habit. We love habit. We crave habit. Yeah. Habit helps us not have to think about everything. I recently got back from a vacation to Cancun, Mexico. It was muy bueno.
I bet.
And it was 84 degrees while it was much colder than that.
Yeah, freezing.
At home, and much colder where my brothers and my parents live. And so I went with my wife and 2 other couples. And we ate dinner together each night. We didn't always eat lunch together. We didn't always eat breakfast together. We rarely did that. We ate dinner together. We always sat in the same seats. I sat and watched it happen for some reason. And I just sat back, even as we would go the next day, because I knew we were going to record this podcast, and I just wanted to see it happen. And it just happens. Everybody likes that. Habits, they help us do a lot of things. One of the greatest things they do is help us conserve brain power. And so, do you drive the same way to work every day? Like when you come here, do you drive the same way?
I do.
You do? To the store?
Yeah.
To your friend's house? Yeah. Habits.
Yeah. I think it's also why it's hard to get back into a rhythm once you get out of a rhythm. So, a couple months ago we had Christmas, we had Thanksgiving, and I feel like a lot of people always get out of the habit because of the holidays and everyone looks forward to that. But then that first day back is always so hard.
It's so hard.
You've gotten out of the routine, you've broken the routine. And so for me, I have to set an alarm every day. So I have to set an alarm and I have to get up when the alarm goes off if I want to get anything done before Logan wakes up. I could choose to not get up and he would be my natural alarm, but I wouldn't get anything done. So I've created habits and routines in my schedule.
You.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
To do things in the morning. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, yeah.
I cannot wake up in the morning. I don't know. I have problems with that. And therefore I don't get anything achieved before my kids wake up. I usually do it after they go to sleep, which is interesting. So, but that's my habit. Yeah. Right. And it helps me get things done. We all find out what works for us. And I'm a natural night owl. I'd love to stay up till 3 a.m. every day. Okay. So that's hugely important. So this is all about habits, making sure you assign a particular time of day so it's part of your rhythm. Oh, I got up. I'm walking out of my car. This is the ideal time to swing this axe at this tree. Okay. The third principle is what?
Yep. Principle number 3 is a worthy task or goal.
Yes. So that's hugely important and cannot be overstated, that this task, it has to be worth the effort required to accomplish it. So your tree whatever it is you're trying to cut down, it's got to be worth the effort required to bring it down. Like I'm going to go help someone right now. If you're reading a book and it's miserable and not helpful and just plain bad, because there are bad ones, not I Was Broke, Now I'm Not Oxen, not What Everyone Should Know About Money. Those are awesome books. But there are some books that are miserable, not helpful, and just plain bad. Put it down. Stop reading it. I know type A people, you're freaked out about this idea, but the end result isn't going to be worth your time and effort. Break up with the book. I can help you figure it out. Take it out to the trash. Burn it. Throw it in the dumpster.
Get a copy of yours.
Yes. Buy a real book. No, like I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. Or fully, 2020 money. Yeah. So here, let me ask you a question, though. Is budgeting a worthy task for your family? Is it? If you don't view it as a worthy task, you won't do it. Is investing a worthy task for you and your family? Hey, I would tell you it is, but only you can tell yourself that it is. Is giving money away to causes and people you want to support worth it? Is it worth it? Is saving money a worthy task? I prepare a budget every month because my bride and I know it is a task worthy of our effort. Yeah. And so we do it. That's how we've been able to do that for 213 consecutive months.
And I think if you're in that moment where you're thinking like, is this a worthy task? I think about all the things that you want to do and you want to accomplish. So if you want to purchase a house, if you want to do renovations on your house, like that's a big thing for us. We're renovating, like, I feel like every room in our house. If you want to go on a trip, like we love trips. If you want to, like, all the big dreams that you have, if you are managing the money, if you're managing money the same way right now that you continue to do, are you going to be able to accomplish those dreams? If the answer is no, then it's a worthy task because you're going to be able to accomplish so much more because you set these new habits in place. And so I think that's something to consider. And I would say, like, at the beginning of every episode, we share a success story. And I feel like we love hearing them, but we want to share them for you. Like, we want like, you guys to be able to hear them and see yourself in those stories and think like, oh, I can do that. I can pay 100%. Off this debt. I can climb up to the ladder. The person in this story and a success story in this episode was on rung 9 of the ladder. That's the last rung. Like, he was like, they have accomplished so much. And it's not to say like, oh, look at them. It's to say like, you can do it too. So like, think about the things that you need to change in your finances so that you can be able to accomplish those big dreams that you have.
So when we think about this principle, 5 swings of the axe, the swinging the axe principles are to focus on today's task, assign a set time for the task, and a worthy task or goal. Make sure it's a worthy task or goal. And if those 3 things are true, if you have those in place, if you have a set time and place that you will prepare a budget, that every first Saturday or every last Saturday of a month, we're going to prepare the budget for the next month, or every Monday before the next month. And you determine, hey, this is worthy because of we are doing this so that, fill in the blank. The so that is your reason for doing that. If you do it, well, let me tell you something. Soon you'll be saying, hey, we've prepared a budget 6 months in a row, and I can't believe it. And then you may be able to say double figures 10 months in a row. And if you keep doing that, amazing things are going to happen. The verse for today I selected from Proverbs 6, verses 6 through 8. It says, go to the ant, you sluggard. I love that word, sluggard. It's a new form of put down, really, sluggard. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler. Yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. In other words, it has a set task. It's obviously deemed it worthy of it. And as a result, it does it. And it doesn't try to pile it all up at once. It just does it consistently over time. As a result, the ants, they have plenty for the wintertime. It's amazing.
Yep.
Tell everybody what we're going to talk about next episode.
Yes. So next episode, we're talking about selling a car with negative equity. So if that's you or you know somebody that's interested in doing that, it's going to be a great episode.
It's a challenge for so many people. When they really get a vision of what life could be like debt-free, a lot of people want to get rid of that car, but they're upside down, meaning that they owe more than it's worth, which is also known as negative equity, and they feel stuck, like they just have to put up with it. We're definitely going to show some ways that you don't have to do that. Yeah. So if you know someone who's trying to get rid of a car that they owe more on it than it's worth, that's going to be the episode you're going to bookmark to be able to point them to we looking forward to that. Now, hey, if you listen to today's episode and you liked it and you're watching on YouTube, click the subscribe button, click the bell. You'll be notified every time a new tip or episode arrives, and make a comment. You agree or disagree with what we said. If it's worked for you, share how it's worked for you. Share your success stories. And the greatest honor all of you can do is to share this with all of your friends on social media. That's what we want to do, is help people on Monday have a practical, right now relevant money topic or tip so that they can make progress in their money journey to a fully funded life. Any last words you'd like to share with everybody?
Pick up the axe and do 5 swings.
Yeah.
No?
It might, and listen, we may need to throw in one extra principle. Make sure it's a sharp axe. That'd be good. Make sure you have the right tools. There's 100 of them at our website, iwbnin.com, iwbnin.com. Check them out today.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Monday Money Tip Podcast, presented by I Was Broke, Now I'm Not. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a review and subscribe. And for more great content and to stay up to date, visit iwbnin.com. We'll catch you next time.